All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to New Hampshire. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series hits New Hampshire, a great mile track located in Loudon, New Hampshire. It's a flat one, but there's a little room to race here. It's tough on tires. It's race number 5 of the season. 110 laps of this baby. Who's got what it takes to bring home the victory? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's watch it right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, a little semi-short track action here on a Friday night. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 110 laps here in the Buschwackers Series. Let's get this party started. All right, thank you so much for coming in and checking it out here on TurnLeftTV. We got a great one for you tonight, man. This track is a lot of fun. It's a tough track, but it's a fun one. And it is New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator here at TurnLeftTV. And it's round number 5 of the season. New Hampshire, always a challenging track. Thank you for joining me. We're right now in the practice session. Got about 9 minutes left to go in the practice session. This is race number 5 of the season. You take a look at that. 110 laps last week. We had the Steve Freeze Memorial 250. That was an awesome race. Thanks to all those folks who participated in that race and supported Steve Freeze. Also, the people who come out and watch the stream as well. Really appreciate that. That means a lot to us. Kansas coming up the second half of this season there to begin the second half of the season. You see Charlotte Road Course on October the 3rd. That's going to be a big question mark on how guys approach this track. Las Vegas on October the 10th to see Talladega on the 17th. And then Martinsville on October 24th. Short track action to finish out the season. Thank you so much for joining me here on the YouTube channel. I really appreciate you being out here tonight or on replay. Don't forget that thumbs up button. Get updates when races are going live. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and smash the bell, baby. Also, if you'd like to support me, you can click on the links in the description of this race. Head on over to the Facebook page. You can head on over to Buy Me a Coffee as well. So thank you for watching the race here at TurnLeftTV, whether it be live or on replay. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in the rFactor 2 server, there are 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from. That is EliteHostingUSA.com. Hey, we got some racers out here tonight, man. We got some racers out here. Awesome. Good crowd showing up tonight. And guys, a lot of guys like this track. It is interesting, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight's race. Wow, those are big. What the heck happened there? What's going on with that point standing graphic? There we go. Fix that out. It's always something here at TurnLeftTV, isn't it? Sean Jacobs, 1 point lead over Craig Marizon. What a fist fight for the top position. Wow. 148 points there. Gordon Carter sits in third. He's not out of it. Tony Furtado just behind, 1 point behind in the fourth position. Ed Palumbo sits fifth. Look at that spread there between P1 through P5. Wow. Ed Palumbo fifth. Preston Hassel is sixth. Givaldo Spindola also tied right there for sixth. Dennis Judichin is seventh. Pierce Crone ninth. And Claudio Bardelli Jr. is 10th in points. Take a look at page number 2. Dana Grover tops that page. Arthur Vieta is 12th. Dan Richter is 13th in points. Ritzky Novar 14th. Todd Robillard 15th. John Stanley 16th. Chris Hughes 17th. Jack Furtado is 18th. And Ben Arsilva sits in the 19th position. Those are the point standings coming into tonight's race. Well, if you don't know New Hampshire, here's a look for you. A little over a mile in length, and it is located in Loudon, New Hampshire. Not much to say about the banking. It's the same in both ends of the track. 2 to 7 degrees. So you got some progressive banking there, but it just feels flat as you could get. This is a tough track. Long straightaways and corners that feel like they're really, really tight here at New Hampshire. A lot of speed down the straights and really diving into those corners, man. So about 4.5 minutes left in the practice session. Of course, we can take a look at the keys to the race here tonight as well. Race keys here at New Hampshire. Corner entry. Oh, wait. And also corner exit. Big here at New Hampshire. You see there's a lot of room to race there, but man, I'll tell you, looking at this from a third-person view does not really do it justice compared to what it's like behind the wheel. Tire management, man. It is tight here. It burns up the tires quite a bit, so you have to be patient here and manage those tires. And then, of course, as always, make good pit stops. Those are the keys to the race here at New Hampshire. We'll take a look at those again as we populate the grid. Well, we got more racing headed your way this weekend. That's right, the big boys, the Saturday Night Thunder Next Gen Series, race number 7 will be right here at New Hampshire. I get out of the broadcast booth, get in the driver's seat, and mix it up with the fellas, man. No, more like they beat up on me. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the chat. Good to see Claudio. Of course, Givaldo starting us off as always. Pop up the chat there. Claudio and Givaldo kicking us off. Good turnout here tonight. Franco Alvarez back, man. Franco from Argentina did a trip with his dad here to the United States and went to a couple races. He went to Daytona, the July race there at Daytona. I think it was the July race at Daytona. Went to that, and then I can't remember the other track, maybe Vegas? Can't remember the second track that he went to, but he's a huge Stockcar fan. And what a dream vacation there for he and his dad. That was awesome. So good to see Franco back with us. High Octane Racing League Tough Trucks back in action. We had a great race. Broadcast that live, by the way. Check it out on the YouTube channel. We had a great race on Wednesday, and here we are at Iowa Speedway coming up this Wednesday, September the 24th, race number 7. It's a 130-lap race, and that's short track, and that is going to be a fun race to watch. A little under 2 minutes left to go in the practice session. Double check our side-by-side views, make sure those are working. Yay! All right, here we go. John Stanley in there, man. He's in the garage area. See John out here racing with us. Step on the gas. So getting ready to go to the qualification session. Man, that really went fast, didn't it? Really went fast. Qualification session here coming up. Track position pretty important here, so you want to qualify well. And it looks like the practice session has ended. Take a look at the results here in the practice session. Preston Hassel, the top time in practice, 29.713. Claudio Bardelli Jr., the second Ford up there, baby, 29.848. Franco Alvarez hasn't lost a beat. He's third. Craig Marizon fourth. Ed Palumbo fifth. You see Tony Furtado, Dana Grover, Archer Vieta, Dan Richter, and Chris Hughes rounding out the top 10 in the practice. So fast for those Fords. Gordon Carter 11th. Julio Caligari 12th. John Stanley 13th. Ubaldo Spindola at 14th. Sean Jacobs 15th. And Dennis Judichin 16th in the practice session. All right, qualifications headed your way. Who's going to be the first one out, huh? A lot of guys like New Hampshire. We've got a big turnout here tonight, so it's good to see drivers out. A lot of guys really, really like this track. So who's going to go out first? Good question. They're still waiting. Nobody wants to be the first driver out. Here we go. Uh-oh. Looks like maybe got somebody here. Looks like Craig Marizon might be our first driver out on the track. Craig Marizon, hailing from the great state of Michigan. The 60 car of the Magpul Dynamic sponsor machine. Like I said, you want to get a good time here. You want to get a good starting position. There'll be a lot of opportunities to pass, but definitely want to get a good starting position. There's on down the backstretch. That first timed lap. 60 car, Magpul Dynamic sponsors Chevy. He's at 29.668. Well, Craig Marizon, he's got another lap in him. Let's take a look at Preston Hassel. 27 car, the Ford. He was the top time in practice, 29.818 P2 for Preston Hassel. Tony Furtado got a lap in here, so he right now is fourth. Let's see what lap number 2 is for the 9 Valvoline-sponsored Chevy. Sean Jacobs up to P3. Furtado right now in fourth. Gordon Carter is fifth. 30.374 right there on lap number 2. So a little room for improvement. He is right now pretty decent place there. He is in like 8th. Ed Palumbo going out with the retro. Looks like he has gotten his laps in, so Franco Alvarez out on the grid, and he's already to the top of the grid. How about that? Franco Alvarez at 83. Little vacation and back leading the field. 29.608. Can he better that? He's fast here. 29.703, but 6:08 is the time. Dennis Yuderchin. See where Dennis Yuderchin lands. Second lap. Oh boy, way up there against the wall, and he slams the wall there, so that's going to hurt him on time. But right now, 29.608 is the top time, and Yuderchin is 31.372. Caligari looks like he's finished up his, and I think Bardelli Jr. might be going out. He could be the spoiler here. Claudio Bardelli Jr. definitely could be the spoiler in this qualification session. He is sideways there coming out of turn 4. $29.608. So let's take a look here. Here's his first time lap. He's on his warm-up lap there. First time lap. Fast in sector number 1. In the blue. A little bit slower in sector 2, however. A little bit behind. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see where he lands. 29.837 P5. Can lap number 2, can he better that? So the Sobertom Ford got a little work to do. He's a little slow there in sector 1 for lap 2. Not too far off. He can make this up in sector 2. This is what hurt him last time, but it's man, not good here in sector 2. 2.5 tenths off. And then 30.132 there for lap number 2. Well, it looks like those guys are finished, I believe. Not sure John Stanley is going to be qualifying, so he's in the garage area. So thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. And, let's get this party started.
Johnson's voice moving through the chaos. Every lap of battle, never gonna pause. Steel and fire, the rivals collide. This is the racing where legends ride. Rev it up, feel the tower. Let the engine scream. High octane racing, living every dream. TurnLeft TV's watching under neon light. We're taking it to the edge in the dead of night. No limits, no fear, just throttle and drive. Chasing glory, feeling alive. Stars of the league, leaving trails of smoke. In the high octane, the fire's woke. So raise your fist, scream out loud. In this race, we're part of the crowd. TurnLeft TV, where heroes are made. And Buschwackers, legends won't fade.
All right, we are back. Qualifications have finished. These guys are in the warm-up session. We're going to give you the qualification results. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Heath Johnson, and we are at New Hampshire in the High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Xfinity Series. It's a 110-lap race tonight, and we've just finished the qualifications. These guys are in the warm-up session. We'll take a look at the qualification results. Franco Alvarez in the 83 with a 29.608. Starts in P1. Outside row 1 will be Craig Marizon, so an all-Chevy front row. Preston Hassel, the top forward, starts in the third position, that 27 car. Archer Vieira will start in fourth. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the Ford. Look at that, man. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Ford. Starts in the fifth position in the 19 car. Dana Grover in the Toyota, the top Toyota in the 89, racing from the Trax VR facility. Starts in P6. Sean Jacobs will start in the seventh position in the 24 car. Ed Palumbo starts eighth in that 54. Dan Richter, one of our Indiana drivers in the 65 Boom Boo Rub Sponsor machine, will start in ninth. Tony Furtado in the 9 car will start in the 10th position. Starting in 11th was Givaldo Spindola. Sorry, I was looking at Claudio's name. Givaldo Spindola in the 68 in the Chevy starts in 11th. Gordon Carter starts in 12th. Chris Hughes in the 7. Fellow teacher right there starts in 13th. Denis Yudichin in the 47. One of our great Ukrainian drivers. Our best Ukrainian driver. In the Toyota starts P14. Giulio Caligari starts in 15th. In the 6 car, and John Stanley, good to see John back here for a second week, in the 12, starts in 16. These guys are now in the warm-up session. And how about Dan Richter coming out here and racing with us? But he's getting psyched for tomorrow, man. Purdue football tomorrow. Football season here in Indiana. Givaldo here in his 68, also making some laps. Bardelli Jr. right now in the warm-up session, 30.204. Top time, Marizon just behind. Vieira, Vieira's going to be a factor as well. Marizon and Vieira have had some pretty intense battles. You throw Bardelli Jr. in there as well. Dan Richter, I mean, look at the top 4 right now. My gosh. And Givaldo's efforts, man, I mean, tell you what, getting faster and faster and faster. Just got to work a little bit on kind of that mid-race to second half of the race type of stuff. We got some chatters in here. It looks like a Fireball Flash. It's Dana Grover chatting it up. And I got to get my my pick in here tonight, don't I? Wow, man, it's gonna be a tough one. My pick tonight. Everybody get their picks in here. My pick tonight is gotta type it in. This didn't pop up there. This didn't pop up there by itself. You know, you got to type it in. You got to spell the name correctly. All right, here we go. You ready? Drum roll, please. My pick is Archer Vieira. That's right. Archer Vieira. A NASCAR BR sponsored Chevy. That's who I think is going to win this race. Should I pick a P2, P3? Nah, it's too hard. Good to see Chris Hughes out here, man. I know as a fellow teacher, I feel your pain, brother. It is a busy, busy time for us, man. I don't know, this could be my last year. I'm eligible for retirement, so we have the rule of 85 in this state. So your age plus your years of experience equal 85. And I think I am there, baby. Chris Hughes getting his practice in pitting. Very important here. How about Giulio Caligari, man? Having a great race in the Truck Series. Great season in the Truck Series. Good to see Giulio out here, man. Great guy. Good friend on Facebook as well. Great dude. Hey, thank you for coming in and watching the race here on TurnLeftTV. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please consider doing so. And then subscribe to the channel. Always looking to get more subscribers. That gets more people seeing this the racing that we got here at High Octane Racing League and the other series I do. I'm going to broadcast a special race in January for the Happy Hour Racing League guys in honor of Greg Kirchmayer. So lots coming up here at TurnLeftTV. Each and every week we broadcast the Friday night series. So thank you. I got tons of videos, 573 videos on this channel, man. Wow, that's a lot of hours sitting in this seat. But always appreciate guys coming in. You don't have to participate in the chat, but you're more than welcome to if you want to come in and participate in the chat. Love to see that. Got Preston Hassel here in the 27 Castrol Edge sponsor machine. Look at that top time right there, 29.994. He must have known that I was going to focus on it. If you want to support me, you can also click on that SimLab web link in the description of the race. I'm an affiliate through them. I have a SimLab race rig right now that I'm broadcasting from. I do my driving and my broadcasting from my race rig. Not sure I'd even feel normal sitting at a desk doing the broadcast. I should try it sometime, huh? There's be a lot of work moving everything over. But Tony Furtado in the 9. Another fast car here tonight. One of those old guard like Preston, one of those old guard HORL guys. Thought I'd see his brother out here racing with us. Got Jack out racing. Nice to see him out here tonight. I thought we'd probably see him, but he got a hot date. Dana Grover in the Trax VR sponsor machine, the 89. If you're up in that Calgary area and you want to do some sim racing, Trax VR can provide you with the sim rig set up. right there in their facility. Maybe even a few drinky poos for you. And a bunch of folks there cheering you on, too. Huge support from the guys there at Tracks VR and the people who that race in various series using their equipment. Really, really cool. So, thanks to Tracks VR also in promoting the races that are broadcast, that TurnLeftTV broadcasts. I appreciate that. How about the 24 Kubota sponsor machine? That's Sean Jacobs. Got about 30 seconds left to go in the warm-up session, and this thing's ready to get busy. It's about ready to kick off now. So it looks like we're ready to rock and roll, baby. Time to figure it out, huh?
A lot of soul.
All right, it's all over with a shout, baby.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the starting order. Franco Alvarez, Team Swoop, starts in P1. Craig Marizon outside row 1. Preston Hassel and Arthur Vieira make up row number 2. Row number 3, Claudio Bardelli Jr. and Dana Grover. Sean Jacobs and Ed Palumbo make up row number 4. Row number 5 will be Dan Ricker in the 65, Tony Furtado in the 9, Givaldo Spindle in the 11, and Gordon Carter, 11th position, and Gordon Carter in 12. Boy, I messed that up, didn't I? In 13th, starting at 13th is the 7 of Chris Hughes. Dennis Udership starts 14th. Julio Caligari will start in that 15th position. John Stanley will start 16th. Man, this is going to get wild, baby. Going to get wild. Don't forget my keys here. Corner entry, corner exit, tire management, be patient, and make good pit stops. Might see a little hitch in here as I switch back from one window to the next there. Sorry about that. Going to figure out what that issue is. All right, pace car's off. Franco Alvarez.
Green flag, go, go, go.
All right, green, green, green here at New Hampshire. Alvarez and Marizon side by side into the corner as now Alvarez inching ahead. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. No. Thought they were going 3 wide there for a second. Got me scared. And Alvarez off to the lead. Marizon follows behind on the outside. Oh, Vieira hard into the on the brakes. Getting into the turn. And Vieira got hard on the brakes. He was able to save it and keep it out of the wall. Tony Furtado here in the 9. Givaldo giving him a peek there on the inside. Tony Furtado. Oh, maybe some contact. No, they kept that. They laid off of one another. Woo, boy. Givaldo threw that car into the corner, and Tony Furtado says, now I'm going to go down to the bottom side. He and Ed Palumbo racing it out. Just ahead of those guys are on board here with Furtado. You see the 89 now on the outside as Furtado making some moves here on the inside line. All right. How about that? Take a look at that pass there. Take a look at the replay of that pass on the inside as the 9 car dives down to the inside and gets around the 89, and he set his sights on Dan Richter as well. So a little bite there on the inside line for the 9. He's looking racy here early on. And Tony Furtado on the move. Wow. Nico Alvarez, our leader. Marizan in second. Vieta is in the third position. Take a look at Vieta and Marizan. Vieta and Bardelli Jr. These guys nose to tail there. P3, P4. See the different lines these guys are taking. I think these guys are using this outside line. Take a look at Vieta and Bardelli. They're using this outside line here to save tires. Let's see how that works out in these long runs, and I would expect some long runs here. Waldo Spindle up on the outside is Dennis Judichin on the inside. These guys battling down the front stretch. And Givaldo trying to hold onto that spot. Judichin keeps battling. And it looks like Judichin's going to pick up that spot. So Dennis Judichin now moving up. Judichin now in the 12th position. Giulio Caligari now setting his sights on Givaldo. Giulio on the inside. Givaldo on the outside line, and Giulio Caligari going to pick up that spot. Tony Furtado and Preston Hassel. These guys been having a little bit of a fist fight. Look at that. Furtado to the inside. Preston Hassel working the outside line. Says, no, buddy. Oh, man, there might have been some contact. Might have been contact between the 9 and the 27. I was seeing a little bit of contact. Take a look here. Watch this on replay as the 27 on the outside, Furtado dives in, and these guys might have made some contact coming off here. Let's see. Oh yes, there was some contact there. Wow. Couple KG veterans getting after it. Get back up here with our race leader. He says, I don't want anything part of that. I don't want anything to do with that. Marizan's not letting him get away, though. Marizan about a half a second back into second position. Archie Vieta in third. Bardelli Jr. fourth, and Preston Hassel is into fifth. So 3 Chevys and 2 Fords in the top 5. Take a look at Sean Jacobs. Jacobs in the 24. Running in the 8th position. Just behind him is Dana Grover. And ahead is Dan Richter. Jacobs running in P8 in the Kubota-sponsored Chevy. Richter, this could be a track for him, too. He likes to run that high line. And this could be a track, I think, that Dan Richter can excel at. He is right now running in the 7th position. Chris Shivers, hopefully I said that right. Shivers, wishing everybody good luck. So thanks to Chris for chatting it up here. Yeah, it seems like we've been racing 20 or 30 laps. We've only got 10 laps in. A lot of action. Now Chris Hughes in the 7 car. His first race out here in a little bit. The school year has started. And believe me, it has started. The OnShape sponsored Chevy running in P13. Gordon Carter in the 56. Just behind him is Dennis Judichin. And Gordon Carter here rolling up on the 54 at Palumbo. So the 56 and the 54 now tight here on the track. Gordon Carter looking to maybe make a pass here. Gordon Carter just ahead is that Miller Yellow sponsor machine. Maybe a little tire save strategy with these guys. We'll take a look here at back to Franco Alvarez in the 83. Leading the field. He's got a 2.5 lead over Craig Marzon. Vieta is in third, Bardelli Jr. fourth, Preston Hassel fifth. So the top 5 not changed. Dennis Yudichin and Gordon Carter here fighting it out. Great friends having a good spirited battle here on the track. And Dennis Yudichin now going to give or pick up a spot in that 47 car. Yudichin now up to the 11th position. Gordon Carter falling back to P12. And it's not over. These guys are still battling. Gordon Carter and Chris Hughes now having a little battle. Julio Caligari mixing it up as well. So good racing here. Looking at 12th, 13th, and 14th. Well, actually 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Franco Alvarez wants none of that. He wants to go out, win this in a convincing fashion, and he's got a 2-second lead on the field. Take a look at Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the 19 Sobertom sponsor machine. Hey, by the way, speaking of Sobertom, check him out on YouTube. Claudio Bardelli Jr. has his own YouTube channel. That is youtube.com at Sobertom Podcast. So check him out. All things music. Claudio, a great musician, loves music, all kinds of music, and some great guests on there. Check them out. They're on Sobertom Podcast. That is Claudio Bardelli Jr.'s YouTube channel. And he is running in the 4th position right now. Here on lap 17, closing in on Artur Vieta. He's way up on that outside line. Those guys, I think, they're going to benefit from that later down the road. 18 laps in. They're going to get a few laps, quite a few laps here more on these tires. You could save some tires by using that outside line. Vieta now starting to dive down to the inside there off the corner. Take a look at Vieta in the 4. Dennis Yudichin here battling Julio Caligari. Caligari on the outside line. Dennis Yudichin on the inside. Yudichin seems to be backing up a little bit. I don't know whether he got into the wall or what, but seems to be backing up here a little. Gordon Carter had gotten back around. He let him go. Let's take a look here. Carter's up on the outside wall there. Dennis Yudichin on the inside. Carter gets a run even though he made contact with the outside wall. And Yudichin down on the inside is not got the bite that he needs to be able to get a good run down the stretch, front stretch, and now drops some positions. Sean Jacobs in the 24 battling the 9. And Jacobs going to pick up a spot. The 9 of Tony Furtado now falling back to 7th. Sean Jacobs moving up to P6. Chris Hughes making a move here in the 7. 56, battling on the outside line, but gives him the room he needs to pull off that pass. So Chris Hughes now picking up the 11th position as Gordon Carter falling back to P12. Vieta in the 4. Marzon just ahead of him in P2 in the 60 car. Marzon in that Magpul Dynamics sponsored number 60. Running in P2 as Vieta just behind in P3. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in 4th. All trying to chase down Franco Alvarez. Not able to do it here so far. Preston Hassel in the 27 in the Castrol sponsor machine. He is running in P5. So again, 3 Chevys and 2 Fords in the top 5. Dana Grover is our top Toyota tonight in the Trax VR sponsored 89 car. And he is running in the 9th position. About 7 seconds behind P8. See if we can't get a switch that. Nope, not going to cooperate with us, is it? It's going to show us the gap between Palumbo and the 89. Speaking of Palumbo, look at this. He's got he's got the 7 car on the inside at 54. He said he was on the tire save strategy. So Palumbo kind of taking it a little easy here. As Chris Hughes is trying to get by on the inside. Couple Chevys drag racing down the front stretch into turn 1. And Hughes diving down to the inside is going to, oh man, is he going to be able to clear at Palumbo? Palumbo's going to keep him honest. They're still side by side. Good racing here, the 7 and the 54. 25 laps in. Oh, the 7 just cannot get the bite that it needs through the center of the corner to be able to seal the deal. And they're still side by side. Great battle between Eddie Palumbo and Chris Hughes for the 10th position. And Ed Palumbo's going to hold on to that for now. It may not be over. Chris Hughes wants that spot. On board here with Chris Hughes. He's down to the inside. He's really trying to get the bite that he needs. It's harder to do once those tires wear out. Feathering the throttle through the corner. Oh, when he's smacking the wall. Got into the outside wall. Wow, that hurt. That hurt. Got into the outside wall, and he's going to have some right side damage to that machine. Wow. That's how quickly your fortunes can change. Look at this, John Stanley, man. He was just going to bide in his time. Now showing some speed here. Boy, really took it easy at the beginning of the race, and now he is rolling up on these guys in quick fashion. So the Tim Horton sponsor machine gets around Caligari. Now sets his sights on Dennis Unichin. He saved the tires, and he's got a lot better tires than these guys. Caligari tried to get that spot back. John Stanley wanting to hold on to it. Good battling back here in the back of the field. Alvarez has extended that lead. About 5.5 seconds there for Alvarez, and he's starting to roll up on some lap traffic. Those guys. And these guys are racing their guts out. And Alvarez wants to get around, but it's fair game to race and hold on to the lead lap as Caligari gives him a lot of room entering the corner. And Alvarez is going to try to do that slide job, and he does. Look at this ahead of him. Alvarez seeing some racing cars ahead. This is going to hurt his effort a little bit. We'll see how quickly he can get through these guys. Down to the inside, our race leader working his way through lap traffic. Side by side there with the 56. He picked off 3 in a pretty short amount of time and is able to hold on to that gap. Marizan running in the 2nd position. Marizan's opened up a gap on Vieta. About a second gap between P2 and P3. Bardelli Jr. in this mix as well, and these guys are really tight here. P3, 4, and 5, as Preston Hassel's starting to show a little muscle here later in this run. Hassel in the 27. On board here with him as you see the different strategies as far as corner transition. Dilly likes that high line. Preston dipping down to the low line a little bit. Oh, he decides to take a... Oh, man, that thing's loose. That car got loose. And then the 19 got a little tight, drifted up the track. And you see the different strategies. That high line gives you a better run off the corner. But you can dive in there if you're close enough and maybe do a slide job on somebody. You see Hassel working this inside line. He wants a little room so he can get some bite right there. Not a bad corner exit. The different strategies for the 27 and the 19. Dan Richter in the 65. Going to pick up a position. I think Tony Furtado is on pit lane. Does look like Furtado is on pit lane here. So first car coming down pit lane. We'll take a look as we take a look at Dan Richter. I want the tower. I want the driver box. There we go. That's Tony Furtado on pit lane. A little bit of an early pit stop for the 9 car. Interesting. Furtado now exiting the pits. Back out on the track in the 15th position. Our race leader is Franco Alvarez, and that's about a 6-second lead now for it. Got some setting on his wheel or something where he can really drift that car. And other guys I just do not think have figured it out. Take a look at that Caligari and John Stanley battling. Caligari to the inside of John Stanley. Whoa, boy, those guys almost got together. Caligari threw that car into the corner and picks up that position. John Stanley is 13th, and Caligari is 12th. Man. Franco Alvarez, the leader. 24 car indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So pit stops in our near future. Sean Jacobs making a pit stop. You see him peeling off the track down on that right side screen. Oh, man, way up the track there. And pitting off of 4, he wants to try to get all the speed he can. It looks like maybe Claudio Bardelli Jr. has also come onto pit lane. So Bardelli Jr. and Sean Jacobs on pit lane. Like maybe Vieta on coming down pit lane as well. So Archie Vieta coming off the track to come down pit lane in the 4 car. Alvarez still out of the track. He wants to get a caution flag and get these guys a lap down. You see Vieta coming down pit lane. He's giving up P2. Dana Grover now taking over P2. Maybe staying out here to try to earn some championship points, some bonus points. Alvarez does look like he is coming down pit lane. So the race leader, Franco Alvarez, lightning fast there around the corner. See, that's the deal. Is you see him drifting a little bit. So Alvarez on pit lane. Well, race leader, Franco Alvarez. On to pit lane. See Dana Grover, our leader, on that right side screen. Staying out here to get some laps led, get the bonus points. Now peeling off the track to come down pit lane. So Dana Grover Now making a pit stop. We got to be careful not to speed here. This would be devastating, get a speeding penalty. As Alvarez now finishes up back out on the track in the race lead. That in and out for Alvarez, pretty darn good. And he picked up quite a few seconds and extending that lead to like 9 seconds or so over P2. Dennis Yuderson is on pit lane. You see the 47 car making a pit stop. Dennis Yuderson hailing from the great city of Kharkiv, Ukraine. And coming out here, and he wants it like 3 o'clock in the morning for him, and he's racing with us. That's dedication right there. That is absolute dedication. Claudio Bardelli Jr. now in the second position in the Sobertom Podcast Ford in the 19. Vieira behind him, about a half a second or so behind him in the third position. Furtado's worked his way up to P4 in the 9. Take a look at Furtado in the P9 after pit stops have cycled around. Got about 9 cars on the lead lap. It's like 8 cars on the lead lap. We'll take that back. Dan Richter, the last car on the lead lap in that Boom Boo Rum sponsored Ford. Purdue University grad. Hailing from the great state of Indiana. And, man, you live in Indiana, you're a race fan. As we all know, the crown jewel of motorsports, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but there's a lot of great tracks here in Indiana. Givaldo had a little bit of a little move to the inside. Something's going on with Givaldo's car. Wow. Something went on right there with Givaldo's car. Let's take a look. That thing got really, really loose. Whoa! Givaldo on for a ride in the grass as Richter goes by, and Givaldo had a moment there. Man, he was all but wrecked. You see, the thing gets super loose right there, and then he catches it. Oh man, he's lucky he didn't spin out in the grass. That's like being on ice. And that finally straightens that car up. Wow. Interesting lap there for Givaldo. Take a look at Tony Furtado running in fourth. We focused on him a moment ago. Running in the fourth position. Just behind him, about 4.5 seconds back, is 27, but he's got the 6. Caligari. Now, Caligari is in the 11th position. Maybe a little bit better tires, trying to get by. Julio Caligari in 11th, trying to get by Preston Hassel, not able to do it, but Caligari mixed in with some of these guys that are in 5th, 6th, 7th-ish. He's wanting to get a lap back. Our 1 lap down lucky dog position car is the 89. We've been caution-free approaching halfway here in about 5 laps or so. Scheduled for 110. And Palumbo in the 54 car is running in 10th. He was 1 lap down behind Dana Grover, about 16 seconds off the leader, so a lap down. And that 54 car, one of our great New York drivers, LEO sponsored machine. He's throwing out the retro paint scheme, retro mellow yellow. John Stanley started in the back. He's worked his way up a couple positions running in P14. Right ahead of Gordon Carter. John Stanley is 2 laps down in the 12th position in that in the 14th position in that 12 car. And Gordon Carter running behind him in P15. Alvarez continuing to open up pretty substantial lead on these guys. 14 seconds up. If you haven't guessed already, this race has a green flag feel. We've been green from the drop of the green flag. Craig Marizon and Sean Jacobs. This is the best racing on the track right now. The 24 and the 60 battle. A couple Chevys. Little Pennsylvania versus Michigan. And Chris Hughes wants some action here as well. Chris Hughes also, he's 1 lap down in the 12th position, but they are having a fist fight. Caligari just ahead of Marizon, on board here with Marizon, as these guys rolling up on Preston Hassel in that 27 car. Caligari, oh boy, oh man! I don't know how he snuck that car there without getting into the back of the 6 car, but the 60 car battling the 24-4 position, trying to work their way through some lap traffic. The 60 now side by side with Caligari. He gets around, and Sean Jacobs trying to follow him through. Sean Jacobs in the 24 having a little bit more trouble trying to get around the 6 car. And Marizon opens up a gap. You see side by side coming off the corner, so Sean Jacobs needs to try to get around this 6 car as quickly as he can. So close back in on Craig Marizon. Almost a second separate the two of those guys now. Oh, whoa! And he's not able to do it. Not able to pull off that pass. So, there he goes. Caligari got way up the track. And now Jacobs is going to have to try to work his way up through Ed Palumbo to get back up to Craig Marizon. Dan Richter in the 65. He's running in the 8th position. He's got some lap traffic to deal with. Chris Hughes and Caligari. And Hughes and Caligari just got finished with a little bit of a fist fight. 7 versus the 6. Oh, my kids would be like, oh, 6-7, man, 6-7. I have no idea what that means, but apparently that's the thing of the moment here with the high school students. There you go. 6-7. All you need. And Chris Hughes way up the track. Is Caligari going to get back by? I don't know. Are they going to figure it out? And Chris Hughes is the outside line as Dan Richter trying to get through. Wowza. A little racing going on here. Even some lap cars racing it out. As Alvarez gets around Dennis Judichon. He's our race leader. He's got a big 16-second lead over P2. Had a good battle there for P2 with Bardelli Jr. and Vieta battling. Those guys kind of out there by themselves. Furtado back about 7 seconds behind P4. Tony Furtado, or excuse me, behind P3. Tony Furtado running in the fourth position. Marizon closing in on Preston Hassel again. Marizon in the 60, Preston Hassel in the 27. And a good battle here between the two of these drivers. Little Chevy versus Ford. 210 separate the two of those guys. Marizon running in 6th, and Preston Hassel running in P5. Marizon seems to be a little faster corner entry and at about the middle, and then Preston Hassel a little bit better off the corner. Some different strategies playing out with these two drivers. A little bit of a gap there with those guys that just went by. Caligari and Givaldo. We haven't checked on Givaldo here. Givaldo not quite having the night he wanted. He said he was not feeling super well, but he's out here mixing it up. He's running in the 16th position. Don Jacobs, 24, worried about getting lapped now as Franco Alvarez closing in. Ed Palumbo is running in 10th, 1 lap down. Jacobs running in the 7th position. Tony Furtado and Preston Hassel and Craig Marizon. Look at this three-way battle. Couple Chevys beating up on a Ford. Preston Hassel is not going to have any of it here. Look at that. Side by side. Preston Hassel on the outside. Oh, throws that car into the corner. Inches back ahead of the 60. But Preston Hassel trying to hold on to this spot. He's running in 4th. Marizon in 5th. Furtado is in 6th. We got a good battle behind. You see Marizon and Furtado. Furtado now coming down pit lane. Oh, so he gave up the fight. So he's coming on to pit lane. Remember, he pitted earlier than these guys. We got a great battle here as Tony Furtado is on pit lane. So a great battle with these fellas. As Furtado finishing up his pit stop, now coming back out on track. So he pitted earlier, quite a bit earlier than these other guys. So interesting strategy. We'll see how that plays out for Tony Furtado. He's now back to P9 as we're taking a look at P4, Preston Hassel, and just behind him, the 60 of Craig Marizon running in 5th. Don't forget, that's not what I wanted. I gotta make sure I change that, huh? Boy, oh boy. Here we go. We got the right banner. Don't forget Iowa Speedway coming up on Wednesday nights. Race number 7 in the High Octane Racing League Tough Trucks Series. 130-lap race. And I actually did a little surprise broadcast this last week. give these guys something to go out and watch. Didn't really plan it. And just came home from work and set it up. Took me a couple hours there to set up the race, and it was a fun race too. Great race. And we'll see if we have another one at Iowa. That's always a fun one in the Truck Series. That's coming up on Wednesday, September the 24th. I think I got the right banner. There we go. New Hampshire coming up tomorrow night in the Saturday Night Thunder. As you see Franco Alvarez trying to weave his way through some lap traffic or put a car a lap down. Let's put it that way. Not quite able to pull that off. You see New Hampshire coming up tomorrow night in the Next Gen Series. Franco Alvarez now getting by Sean Jacobs. Claudio Bardelli Jr. running in second. Jacobs is running in the sixth position, so a little bit of a gap there. Whatever's going on, Alvarez has figured it out. I mean, he's not been out here on the track in quite a while here in this 83. It's been a while since he's raced in the Buschwackers Series. Whatever he's doing, he's figured it out. And I think maybe some of these guys could try to pick his brain and find out what he's doing. To be able to run away from these drivers. I mean, you look at guys like Bardelli Jr., Vieira, Hassel, Marzon Jacobs, and Richter. Those guys lightning fast. Palumbo as well, Grover, Furtado, all these guys really fast drivers. I mean, Bardelli and Vieira are pretty dominant here in the Buschwackers, but they're pretty far back right now. So something's going on. And he's figured something out. That 83 team. Claudio Bardelli Jr. and Arta Vieira nose to tail. Vieira taking the outside line. We haven't checked on Vieira here lately. He's running in the third position. Just behind Bardelli. You see the different corner transitions between the two of those guys. Got 3/10 separate P2, P3. Dan Richter and Sean Jacobs. Now, Jacobs, I was going to say they're racing each other, but it looks like Sean Jacobs peeling off the track to come down pit lane. So Jacobs on pit lane here on lap 76. We're definitely on the back half of this race, and we've been caution-free. Bardelli Jr. on pit lane as well. So Sean Jacobs in the 24 making a pit stop for tires and fuel here on lap 77 now. And Richter now trying to weave his way up through the field as some of these guys are on pit lane. Hassel and Bardelli both on pit lane. See Dan Richter coming off the track just behind Ed Palumbo. So those two guys pitting together. A couple Chevys, a Chevy and a Ford. Oh, sorry about that, Dan. A Chevy and a Ford. Take a look at Bardelli in our right side screen. So Dan Richter in the Boom Boo Rum sponsored 65 Ford Mustang is on pit lane. Vieira also on pit lane, so he's tucking into his pit stall. As you see those guys battling off pit lane. Richter just behind Ed Palumbo. John Stanley peeling off the track to come down pit lane. Take a look at John Stanley in the 12. Alvarez giving him a beat down here tonight in the 83 Mobil 1 sponsored Chevy. A great Argentinian driver. 29.729, just ran the fastest lap of the race. Chris Hughes on pit lane, finishing up his pit stop here in the 7 car. So he's finishing up. He's coming back out in the 12th position. Dennis Yuderchin on pit lane here in the 47. Racing in the bunny car tonight. He's going to have to tell me how to pronounce that word on the side of his car there. I'm sure that's the name of the car, but he's got the Bugs Bunny looking scheme out here tonight. Again, racing from Ukraine. Oh, look at that. Special thanks to Heath Johnson. I'll be darned. I didn't even notice that on the side of that car. That's nice. Got on that fender flare, or that door flare there. The Ukrainian Dennis Yuderchin coming back out for making a pit stop here on lap 83. Tony Furtado is running in the 9 car in the 4th position. Everybody's sort of out there by themselves right now. Guys are strewn across the track or throughout the track. And I think, Tony Furtado way up the track. Man, almost got in the wall. You see, jerked on that wheel there to get it off the wall, or keep it from hitting the wall. So this tires may be giving away a little bit on him. He did pit earlier than the rest of these drivers, so his pit sequence is quite different than what we see with these other drivers. He's about 5 laps or so ahead of the other drivers coming on the pit lane, so kind of interesting. And it looks like Alvarez going down to the bottom line, and it's going to get around Furtado. Take a look at Preston Hassel in the 27. Behind him, he's got the 60. How many laps have we seen these guys beating each other up? 27 and a 6. Oh, man! Marizon gets into the outside wall coming off the corner. Marizon made contact with the outside wall. Take a look at this again. Right here, I think, right there. Little contact. Oh, man, that's a... Wasn't a huge hit, but that'll definitely give you some right side damage. The Magpul Dynamics sponsor machine, a little tight, and now has some damage. May not affect that car too badly. It's not front end damage, it's just right side damage, so he may be okay. Gordon Carter just made a pit stop a few laps ago, finds himself back in the 15th position in a high place moving sponsor machine. 56. We've got great Canadian drivers. Gordon has happily taken on doing some the banners for us and posting the winner screenshot and so forth. And he's really been super, super helpful. Greatly appreciate all of his effort as you see he gets by the 89 car. Not for position. But super helpful, especially now that I've started back, with the school year and teaching, and it's been a little bit bigger classes this year. Tons of work for me outside of racing. It's hindered my racing effort. Work is getting in the way. But he's helped out a lot. I really appreciate that. $20 laps to go. Craig Marizon now rolling up on Tony Furtado. Look at this battle here. Craig Marizon, Preston Hassel, Tony Furtado, Dennis Uderton in this mix. Now, Dennis is in 13th, but you're looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th, all here in a wad. Marizon trying to get around Preston Hassel. Those guys have about the same tires. Tony Furtado, a little bit older tires. Sean Jacobs trying to close in this mix as well. He's running in 7th. But Marizon is trying to find an opening here on the 27 car. Not able to pull it off there. Man, what a battle. What a battle. By far the best battle on the track. Look at this. Sean Jacobs closing in on Tony Furtado. Furtado to the inside. He's going to give Sean the room. He realizes Jacobs has got better tires, and he realizes he's going to need some new tires, so Furtado just come down pit lane. There you go. That's what caused that to work out the way it did. We'll go back to that Marizon Preston Hassel battle. Great Ford versus Chevy battle. Preston Hassel is the leader of the two of those guys in 27 car. Marizon trying to find a way to inch ahead of the 27. Great battle here. See Gibaldo giving those guys a lot of room, and this is a good battle. Looking at the back of Preston Hassel's machine at Craig Marizon. See Marizon a little different strategy through the corner. He can't not get the bite that he needs. With Preston using the outside line, so he's staying up in the high line, and that helps him through the corner. Now he dives down to the inside, gets a little bit of a bite there, and that gap has diminished that time, just a little bit. Adjusting that strategy. Marizon trying to work on the back side of that Castrol Edge sponsored Ford. Now Marizon taking a page out of Preston's book and go to the high side. See counter steering. Car got a little bit loose to the center. This is a good battle, man. Marizon will be a little bit better. He just cannot quite get that car up to the side. Sneak the front fender underneath or above the 27. If he gets above him, he won't give the 27 enough room to be able to mash the gas, because the 27 would inevitably drift up, and he's going to have to stay out of the gas. But he's got to get that car up beside the 27 if he hopes to pull that off. It's going to be harder to do, I think, on the inside line than it would be the outside. So I think for me, I'd probably want to try to do an outside pass. See, he's got a good run here. He just needs to get up to the outside here on lap 99. Sean Jacobs says that he'd like to see those guys get side by side, help him close in. Sean Jacobs in the 24 Kubota-sponsored Chevy to close in on those boys. They got to get side by side. He's going to need a little help. It's about 2.9 seconds back to those boys. Dan Richter running in the 7th position. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the 19 running in the 2nd position. Now, Tony Furtado, Ed Palumbo, they're drag racing here down the straightaway into the corner. 10 laps to go, and Tony Furtado and those fresher tires might have the advantage. I'm not sure when Ed Palumbo, maybe he's got fresh tires too. 54 car mixing it up here with the 9. Some cagey old guard HORL drivers right there mixing it up. Just like old times. Caligari's come down pit lane here in the 6 car. Late race pit stop for the JB Rancing sponsored Chevy. Of our great Brazilian drivers. Caligari on pit lane. That is an interesting pit stop there late in this race. Alvarez the leader. John Stanley on the high side there, going to let Alvarez go. Franco Alvarez, been off for a little bit. Came to the United States, went through a couple races. Good vacation with the dad. And the 83 dominating here at New Hampshire. Now looking at 7 laps to go. We have been caution-free tonight. Oh, Alvarez slides up the track and makes some contact with the outside wall as well. So Franco Alvarez, those tires might be beat up. He slid up the track, made a little contact. Boy, you don't want to do that. That cost you big time. He did make some contact with the outside wall. Bardelli Jr. second, Vieira third, Hassel fourth. Marizon is in 5th. That car is tight. Car's getting a little tight on him. The tires are wearing out a little bit. Now rolling up on Giulio Caligari, diving down to the inside. Excuse me, that is Chris Hughes. Chris Hughes way up the track, and this could be crazy here. It doesn't give he got a little loose right there and got around the 7 car. Way down to the inside. You saw the back end of that car step out just a little. The 83, Franco Alvarez. 5 laps to go, now 4 laps to go. Bardelli Jr. has been able to open up that gap on Vieira, about 3-second gap between the two of those guys. So Bardelli Jr. pretty solidly right now in the 2nd position. Vieira is in 3rd. That battle between Hassel and Marizon has sort of settled down a little bit as well. As we are approaching 2 laps to go. You take a look at that battle there between Hassel and Marizon. Marizon really pushing the issue now. We've got 2 laps to go. So Franco Alvarez down the backstretch. Clear sailing for him in the 83. The Mobile One sponsored Chevy. Across the start-finish line, we'll have 1 to go. One to go for Franco Alvarez in the 83. We've been caution-free here at New Hampshire. Drifted a little bit coming off the off turn 2 down the backstretch. Franco Alvarez didn't start on the pole today, but he worked his way up a little bit through traffic and opened up a huge gap. Solid pit stops. Coming off the final turn down the front stretch. Franco Alvarez is going to get the win here at New Hampshire. Every time they change the direction on the track, where they go into a corner, it's hard to move this camera around. There you go. So Franco Alvarez gets the win here at New Hampshire. So Franco Alvarez, dominant performance here at New Hampshire. So congratulations to Franco. And it's been a while since we've seen Franco Alvarez in victory lane. Franco Alvarez, huge win in his first race back here in a little bit. Not messing around tonight, was it? He said, hey, let's just burn this car up. He's on fire right now. Franco Alvarez. A little fire there for him. Let's take a look at the results. So Franco Alvarez gets the win. Claudio Bardelli Jr. finishes in P2. Archie Vanna finished in the 3rd position. Preston Hassel finishes in 4th. So 2 Fords, 2 Chevys in the top 4. Craig Marizon finishes in P5. Sean Jacobs finishes in the 6th position. Dan Richter finishes in 7th. Dana Grover, the top Toyota in the 89, finishes in 8th. Tony Furtado finished in the 9th position. I think I would have changed that tire strategy, that pit strategy, if I were Tony. And Ed Palumbo finishes in P10. Finishing in the 11th position is Chris Hughes in the 7 car. Dennis Udichin in the Toyota finishes in 12th. John Stanley in the 12 finishes in 13th position. Giulio Caligari finishes 14th in the 6 car. Gordon Carter in the 56 finishes in P15. And Givaldo Spindola in the 68. He raced a little bit under the weather here tonight. Finishes in the 16th position. So a big win there for Franco Alvarez here in his first race back in the Buschwackers Series. And we'll see if we can't get an interview out of him. And what a dominating performance, too. Franco Alvarez here joining us in the booth. Congratulations, a dominant performance. Talk about what the secret is for this track for you.
Man, talk about a solid car, Heath. This Mobile One Chevrolet was so fast today. We had some really good short run speed excellent long run speed. The execution on pit lane was near perfect. I mean, that was flawless from the team. There is not much I can say.
Yeah, it seems like, maybe just the tire wear situation is better for you. I notice you're able to drift the car a little bit too, that I don't see a lot of drivers trying that. Is that something you practice? Is it a wheel setting? You know what? It's definitely a different feel, it looks like, from my perspective when I look at your car and the way you're able to get around the track.
I can't hear you, by the way.
Yeah, it's definitely when I am looking at the, kind of the way you're able to get around the track, and really even step the car out a little bit and drift. It seems like it's definitely a different deal, a different feel for you than maybe what some of these other guys have.
For sure.
You really seem to dominate at this track tonight. You had to weave your way through some lap traffic too. Talk about how that went for you.
Oh, that was so hard. It's so hard to pass on this track. If you go on the inside and you don't complete the pass on the corners, you get eaten up on the straights. So you either had to dive on the corner and slide up to the people, or just try to hang up in the inside and pass them on the next corner. It was so hard to do today. And yeah, as I said, the car was set up to be a little bit loose, so the car will point by itself in the middle of the corner, and I would just keep it going on the exit with the throttle. So yeah, that was the strategy today for the setup.
Well, let's talk about briefly about your trip to the United States. You went to a couple tracks, Daytona being one of them, and I'm trying to remember what the second one was. Was it Vegas that you went to the second race?
Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, Richmond. Oh, even better. Yeah. So talk about how that was for you. I know you're a huge Stockcar fan, NASCAR fan, and it was a family affair, as I understand.
That's correct. It was with my dad, with my brother, and we had the time of our lives. Like, it was awesome. The racing was awesome. The atmosphere was fantastic. Everything about the States almost everything about the States was really, really good. As good as you expected and even better. So yeah, it was a lifetime experience for sure.
Planning on doing that again at some point?
I mean, we want to, so yeah, we're planning on it very, very shortly.
Well, hey, congratulations. First race back, big win here at New Hampshire, and, I'm guessing, maybe a little bit part-time this season. If not, whatever the case may be, we'd love to see you back, and glad to see you back, too. I know we were just asking, I was asking Sean if he'd heard from you in a while, so good to see you back racing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. So fun to be back. And as always, thanks for your work, and let's keep it going.
And I think it's better you're down in the basement. Maybe your family kicked you down in the basement. It's got a little echo there. That's your own room now.
Maybe I was trapped in Sean's basement. Who knows?
There you go. All right, man. Congratulations, buddy.
See ya.
There's Franco Alvarez joining us here in the booth. Been a while since we've heard from the Argentinian. So here he is, getting a win here in the Buschwackers Series. Good job to him. And we got a big race coming up next week. Don't forget, Kansas coming up. So that could be a big, big race for some of these guys. We're starting the back half of that season, too. So keep your eye on that one. That's coming up next week right here on TurnLeftTV. Thank you so much for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Don't forget that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and then smash the bell. And of course, as always, share my videos with all your friends. Have them come out and subscribe to the channel. I'd really love to see more and more people come out, be exposed to what we got going on here at High Octane Racing League. TurnLeftTV. Tonight's race has been brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you are interested in an rFactor 2 server, there are 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from. That's EliteHostingUSA.com. Well, we got some more racing headed your way this weekend. New Hampshire tomorrow night in the Cup Series. Saturday Night Thunder Cup Next Gen Series. Race number 7 of the season. It's a 110-lap race. I get out of the broadcast booth, get in the driver's seat, and mix it up with the boys at New Hampshire. And of course, the tough trucks will be back in action at Iowa Speedway for a 130-lap race on September the 24th. That's Wednesday, September the 24th. And excited for that, as always. So we'll love the tough Tough Truck Series, and I get a surprise broadcast this week. So who knows? Maybe I might do another one. I love Iowa. It's a fun track, so we'll see how that goes. But congratulations to Franco Alvarez on getting the race win, and thank you, everybody, for showing up and supporting here at TurnLeftTV. We'll see you next time, boys and girls. I am out of here.
Turn left TV. Turn left TV. Turn left TV. Turn left TV. Hold on to your butts, cause this is gonna be a great show. Heath Johnson saying all you need to know. We got fast cars racing, hopefully you're pacing. Are you ready for some high-speed action? Step on the gas.